Okay, hi. This is Philip Martin, and I'm back after a week off because I went on a plane, and the plane. Well, I didn't get back. I got back in time, but I had so much to do that I didn't get time to do this. So I didn't do this last week, but I'm back this week, and we will keep doing this. I promise. Anyway, today, actually, people of Friday, I'm back here on Tuesday, which is election day, vote day, which means you have an advantage on me because you know what has happened these last 3 days. I have no idea. Have no idea whether any of this is going to make any difference or whether it's even, what's going to be here on Friday. We don't know. So, I'm back here in the suspenseful part of the week. You're probably still in a suspenseful part of the week. We probably know something by Christmas. But anyway, I'm back. And I had a I really was excited for this movie this week that was coming up, Kindred. I really wanted to see Kindred because way back in the 70s or maybe the early 80s I had read a book by Octavia Butler called Kindred that was really good. And what I understood was this was the movie of that book. I even read that someplace, but it turns out it's not. It's a different Kindred, and it's okay. It's sort of like, it's like Get Out meets Rosemary's Baby, only it's not nearly as good as either of those movies. But it's got nice things in it. It's got Fiona Shaw, who you probably now remember more from Killing Eve. That's what I remember her from anyway. And she's this kind of wonderful, um, terrible mother-in-law. And it's a terrible mother-in-law movie. So we have that this week. I have not seen the Kevin Costner Diane Lane, who I love Diane Lane. I've always, there's some actors you just have this affinity for. And I'll have to say that for Karen, my wife, it's been Kevin Costner. And it's been since Dances with Wolves where she went and interviewed him and did some stuff with that movie. And she's always liked Kevin Costner since then. I've met Costner a couple times. I kind of like Costner too because he just seems like, some guy who happened to become a movie star. He's not like, he's sort of like he is in the Madonna movie, where she makes fun of him. He's just a guy, and I kind of like that about him, and I kind of like some of the roles he's done, and I think he's been very good in some of the sports movies he's done. We started out watching Yellowstone. We're 2 episodes in. I don't know if we're going any further. It's okay. I guess if you need something to watch, but it's, I was hearing comparisons to The Sopranos, and I was hearing like it was the best, kind of crime drama thing that was going. And nah, it's not. It's not that good. I mean, it's like I'm 2 episodes in. Maybe it's like Schitt's Creek, which, again, I'm stuck back in the first season of that. Everybody who loves it tells me it gets much better as it goes along, but I don't know if I have the patience to let it get better. I mean, if it's going to get better by season 5 or 6, I'm not going to do that. So with Yellowstone, it's sort of that way too. And I've got to remember, because I have my last class on Friday for my live quiz class where we're showing movies. I'm showing Oren Moverman's The Messenger this Friday. And one of the reasons I'm showing that film is because a lot of the films I planned on showing would not work for one reason or another because of the technical problems, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time explaining that there, but except that Zoom doesn't let you do everything that I thought it let you do if you're working on a Mac. Maybe if you're working on a PC, it does let you do these things, but I can't get them to work. So I've got this elaborate workaround. So there's only some movies that I've been able to actually queue up to actually show on Zoom, which is a bad problem when you're trying to teach a class in movie watching, remotely. So anyway, but what was I saying? I was talking about, oh, what I have to do is I have to, for that class, I have to make a list of like my favorite, dramas and stuff that are now streaming on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and these places because I promised them I would do it. And it's just my opinion. And it's just, it's no better than anybody else's opinion of, people watch TV and it's like you can find something. It's not like I have any great expertise in it because, it's not my main deal. But, people want to know so I'm going to do it. But that leads me to, another thing I've got to do, and probably got to do this for today, which is Friday. Your today, not my today. My today was, a few days ago. But your today, which is, I need to come up with a top 10, 15 list for 2020 because we're going to talk about it on the radio on the Buzz 103.7 FM today around 12:30. Cough. See, I could edit that out if I bothered to edit things. And I just stepped on my headphones, so there. So you see, we were just having this great technical setup here, but I cough and I step on my headphones. But anyway, I've got to come up with the best. And, and Piers Marchant did that last week when I wasn't here to talk to you about it. And I think he came up with a pretty good list. And most of the stuff that's on his list, I would at least consider putting on my list. I was surprised that he didn't have the Netflix movie I'm Thinking of Ending Things on there. But when I asked him about that, he said it's because he hadn't seen it yet. So, I'm going to start with, I'm Thinking of Ending Things in Outpost, the Rod Lurie movie. But I don't really have a really easy list to come up with. 2020 has been a strange year. It's been a thin year because there just hasn't been that much coming out. And I've seen a lot of things. I'm kind of like overwhelmed with all the screening opportunities I have, which is different than most years because most years, there's one movie a week that you sort of have to pay attention to. And now I'm getting 5 a day that I could pay attention to. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm going to try to come up with something for the radio today. So if you tune in the radio, which it's not a plug for the radio, except it is, then maybe you'll hear me talk about my top 10. I think I'm going to put Eurovision on there, the Will Ferrell film. I really want my wife Karen to see that, even though she's got a kind of a thing about Will Ferrell and doesn't really like his humor very much. But I think she'll like that. Because it's about Iceland, and we like Iceland, and we are the world experts on Icelandic movies. That's actually not too far from the truth. A few years ago, I think we could have made that claim because I think we'd seen just about every movie that came out of Iceland. Iceland is Best is not going to be on my top 10 list this year, though, I don't think. But anyway, back to what's opening here. In Arkansas, and I'm don't have complete information. It's a funny year because we're not getting the stuff that we normally get. We don't get the big blockbusters every week, and we don't get this thing, Jungle Land, a boxing movie, I think, or maybe it's some sort of martial arts boxing something movie. I don't know. Tough guy movie. It's apparently not opening here, though it's opening in a lot of markets around the country. We've got Let It Go, and we've got this thing called True to the Game 2, and I missed True to the Game 1. And I originally thought that was going to be a faith-based movie, I think because it's distributed by somebody called Faith. But it apparently isn't. It's an R-rated, drama, crime drama with, sex and nudity and drug content and stuff. So and Vivica Fox, and I don't know. It's like Dan Liebarger is going to report on that for us. Piers is going to report on Let Him Go, and I've got Kindred. So we've got these 3 movies that are opening in theaters, but and I don't know what's going to go on with the cable stuff. It's sort of like, is there a big cable movie this week? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm still sorting through things. It's really sort of a strange year. But, we're going to keep doing this sort of thing. Part of me thinks it's wonderful because we really can write about whatever we want to now. because you can find it online. We're going to start doing a feature. We have this flashback feature, and I would like to encourage any of you that want to write about a movie that meant a lot to you, an old movie that's maybe on DVD or maybe isn't on DVD anymore, but it's an older movie or a movie that's been out. It's not a current movie, but it's if you've got an angle into it, and you can write about how it made you feel, or something that was going on in your life that it related to, then I would encourage you to go ahead and send them to me at the email address pmartin@adgnewsroom.com, and we'll take a look at them, because we could use those features, and that's one of those features that I solicit from you guys. So please, if you've got some sort of movie you want to write about, that's a good way to get started. We don't pay you. No, we don't pay you. Sorry, but it's, if we like it and we can use it, we will use it, and it's a good way to, communicate what you want to communicate to other people, to your kind. All right. So we got, and I've got some things planned for that, because Piers wrote a bunch of reviews of these fairly recent Criterion collection DVDs that we didn't quite know what to do with, because we already have the DVD column, and the DVD column does what it does. Karen writes that, and it's new releases and stuff like that. But these are different. These were like, longer pieces that didn't fit with that. So I was thinking about putting them on our blog, blooddirtandangels.com. But why? Why not put it in the newspaper? So we're doing that. This week, Joe Riddle, is our resident film historian, is writing about Night of the Iguana. I've mentioned the 3 reviews. What else? I don't know yet. But we'll figure it out, and we'll fill it up. And we'll be back here in this spot next week, more prepared, less rattled, less nervous, because right now with the election going on, it sort of feels like a cross between Christmas Eve and the night before you have some sort of terrible surgery. It's dread and loathing and anticipation and excitement all mixed up in one, and on Friday this will all feel different. It may feel better, it may feel worse, but it's going to be different. And by Christmas, we'll know. We'll know by Christmas. I'm almost sure. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Sorry the content's so bad this week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.